Let's do some movie reviews because we're going to be out of it for a couple weeks. So let's talk about One Good Cop. Michael Keaton was not funny. Remember he went through that phase where he wanted to be why do I got to be the funny guy all the time? I got to be funny all the time. I want to do a dark comedy. So he did like One Good Cop. He did Batman, obviously. He also did it's all in the early 90s. What was the Pacific Heights, one with Matthew Modine and what's her name? That was a good movie too, but One Good Cop is not as good as a movie as Pacific Heights. It's interesting because he is kind of a good cop. All right. Michael Keaton is this New York cop. He's kind of a rough and tumble kind of guy. He's getting in fights and stuff like that. And his partner is Tony LaPaglia. I don't know if you know him. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Anthony LaPaglia. And Michael Keaton is married to Renee Russo, and they don't have any kids. Apparently, she was unable to. Anthony LaPaglia, though, his wife died, and he's raising his daughters by himself, and you could tell it's taking its toll on him. Anyway, Anthony LaPaglia gets killed early in the movie during an arrest. Catches a bullet to the head, and the girls are orphaned. And so Michael Keaton, being a good cop, starts to take care of his partner's kids who now have no one. But it's just this couple in New York. They have this tiny apartment, and there's 3 girls all of a sudden living in the apartment. And the Department of Children's Services, or whatever they're called, they came and say, this is a really small apartment for all these people. You got to get a bigger place. And so Michael Keaton, he decides to rob a criminal so he could put a $25,000 down payment on a house. 1991, is it? $25K for put a down payment on a house in New York. 91, yeah. And then he gives the rest to the church, but then the priest takes $200 out of it and takes the kids to the zoo or something like that, or a museum, and nobody arrests the priest. He stole money too. All right. I don't want to give away the ending, but he's got this responsibility now. This sudden, these 3 girls that he wants to take care of. One of them is a diabetic and needs insulin shots daily. And it's interesting because it's 1991 and Renee Russo's character is realistic because these kids come into her life and she's all of a sudden finds purpose in her life by taking care of the kids. She's like, I always wanted kids, and it's like we got this second chance, and I want to take hold of it. And it's like, I feel like I got purpose now. They don't do that in movies anymore. You don't see women characters in movies saying, finding their meaning and purpose in life by raising children. For many, many women, that is going to give you your life meaning and purpose. But they don't show characters like that anymore in the movies. Female characters like that in the movies. They're all career oriented, and I ain't got time. They're all lesbians anyway in the movies. You know what I mean? They don't make movies like this anymore. So I don't want to spoil the ending. 9 of 13 stars though. It's family drama. There's cute scenes between him and the girls and stuff like that. The joy of having children and so forth is shown, and it's a little cheesy at times. But it's also a lot of crazy violent stuff is happening for the sake of these children. And that's kind of like, I don't know, makes it, what's that called? The moral ambiguity of it. Your motives may be pure, but their methods are illegal. It's an interesting movie in that regard. And Michael Keaton wasn't funny.